So you've probably heard the web dev gods say something like using images as icons is a bad idea. And icon fonts has their limitations also. Which brings us to SVGs, which most people claim are the best when it comes to icons and some other things. And honestly, I kind of agree with that. In fact, when it comes to the option of using either of the three, this probably should come to your mind. While images are familiar, they are less flexible, less scalable, have larger file sizes and lesser styling options. Icon fonts, on the other hand, are better. They are scalable, offer better performance, but they don't support complex designs. They are limited to the icons and the fonts. Custom fonts is definitely equals to font generation and they have poor accessibility. Now, SVG icons, on the other hand, have the best scalability, small file size, better accessibility, rich graphics, can be created more easily. They are ideal for modern, responsive designs, and they even support complex and interactive icons, and they also support animations. In this video, I'm going to show you 5 top SVG hacks you can use for SVG icons and even images to make working with them much more easier. I wish I knew these tips early on when I started my web dev journey, but without wasting much time, let's dive right in. Now, before we continue, do you know that one hack that could help you learn about more hacks like this on this channel is by hitting that like and subscribe button? I mean, it's basically a hack for unlimited hacks. Let's get started. Now, the first SVG icon hack is going to be specifically for React. And before you say anything, I know, and I'll show you the reason why. And the first hack is to try as much as possible. Always make use of React icons. Now, this React icon library is one I always use my default go-to for my React project. And you're going to see why in just a minute. Now, you can see here, React icons include popular icons in your React project easily with React icons. So basically, when you come to React icon, you have access to almost an every possible popular icon library you might essentially need or think of. We have from art design, bootstrap icons, box icons, circum icons, div icons. We have font awesome, we have feather icons, we have material design icons. We have just a lot, and you can make use of these and import the specific icon without it adding to your bundle size. And the best part is it renders in SVG. So essentially the syntax and the usage looks something like this. So I've basically set up a project so we can test it out. And we can see this is a new Vite project, and the only thing I've added is basically the React icons and theme with CSS. All right, so let's open this up and we can see we have a blank screen right here. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to create my app right here, my JSS component, and then I'm going to add a class name for styling. And the next thing I'm going to do essentially is I'm going to import the specific icons I want to make use of. And the next thing is I'm going to just add them right here. And if we should save this, we're going to see something like this right here. Now, using React icons is as easy as it gets, as you can basically import from any particular icon library you want. So all I just have to do is check, and we have different folders right here. Each of these folders basically contains different set of popular icons you can make use of. And another amazing thing about React icons is the fact that all icons you make use of are very and pretty much customizable. So I could do something like, let me add a text purple of 500, and we can see it got added. And the next thing is, let me increase the font size and adding text 5XL, and we can see that actually increase. And also you can go further and add some properties to each of the individual icons. So I can decide that, okay, this first icon, I would like it to have a size of 100, and we can see that actually increased. Okay, we can add, okay, size of 70 to the next and 50 to the next, and that actually works perfectly. And if we should come right here inside of our browser and we check, let's inspect this, and we can see it renders as SVG, which is pretty much awesome if you ask me. So the next time you're in need of icons for your React project, don't think of any other options, just head over to React icons or just install React icons, npm install React icons. Now for our number 2 hack, I'm going to be showing you the best places where you can get SVG icons for any of your web projects. I make use of most of these places a lot of times, and I'm going to show them to you. And the first one in the list is gotta be Hero Icons. Now, Hero Icons was made by the same team that made Tailwind CSS, and their icons are pretty much very nice. And I could search through the icon. Let's say, for example, I need a loading icon, for example. Okay, so we have this arrow path here. I could just copy the SVG or copy it as JSX if you're making use of maybe, for example, React or Solid JS or maybe Quick. But I'm just going to copy the SVG, which is going to give me the SVG in HTML, regular HTML. Now I'm coming here to Tailwind Play, and basically just to have easy access to some classes and to be able to style and to see what we are basically building right here. So I'm just going to delete all of this, and I'm just going to paste in a particular snippet right here. Okay, let's copy the icon again. So copy and then we'll paste it here, and we can see it right here. So we can copy as much as we need. So let's say I need this particular SVG. I can come here, copy it and just paste it here. And we can see it here. Let me add a bit of gap. Okay. So we can see it right here. Now, one of the beauty of the icons you get here at Hero Icons is the fact that you can customize them very much. So right here, we have the class of W-6 and H-6, which are basically Tailwind CSS classes. And if we should look at it right here, it applies a width of 1.5 rem and then height of 1.5 rem. Now, if I should do something like, okay, let's basically just change the height and the width, we can see right here, the size got increased. And if I should do the same thing right here, and we can see it very customizable, and I could also take it a step forward and do this, apply a text ref 600, which basically applies a color property to it, and I'm just going to add a class of animate spin. Okay, and we can see that we have a working loading icon right here. Now, another awesome website I've got to show you is SVG Repos, and I believe this has the largest variety of SVG icons I've ever seen with different styles. And we can search for different icons. We can see right here over 500,000 open license SVG vector and icons. So if I search for something like, let's say Facebook, okay, so I'm going to search for Facebook, and we can see right here we have different styles. Okay, it shows all styles right here. We have monocolor, we have multicolor, we have dual tone, and we can see right here all of these looking so nice. So whichever one you need, let's say for example I want to make use of this, I could just click on download, and let me just open it right here inside of the browser. Okay, this is it. I can view the page source, for example, and just copy the SVG code right here. Copy it, and I'm just going to come right here and I'm going to paste it in right here, and we can see this works fine. Okay, so whichever icon you're actually in need of, chances are you can get them from here. Okay, and another amazing thing is clicking on this, for example, we can see that we have options right here to actually save it as PNG file. Okay, in case you actually are in need of the PNG file, and you can also edit the vector. Okay, let's say for example, right here, I'm just going to change this to, and we can see right here, so we can just basically customize it as much as you need. Moving on to the next one is one that I feel like is very much popular amongst developers, and it is Font Awesome. And yes, I know some of you might be confused and be thinking that isn't Font Awesome basically for icon fonts? But yes and no. If I should come right here to the list of icons, and let's say I search for something like cancel, well, I'm just going to go for the free icons, and we can see right here all of this. So let's say I need this particular icon and I click on it, and we can see right here HTML, which, okay, basically the icon font. And then we can see for React, we can see for Vue.js, and we can see the SVG right here. So once you just click on this, you can copy it, and I can just come right here and I can just paste this right here, and we can see it right here, even though it's very small. But zooming this in, I think we can see it right here. And you can pretty much copy or use any icon you need this way if you don't want to make use of icon fonts, or for some reason need more customization, etc. So, and this would also nicely work well with maybe any other styling, and in which we'll get to that in the next arc. But for now, let us move on to the next one, which is going to be Iconify. Now, one unique thing about Iconify is the fact that it's basically a repo of repos, in the sense that it has different icons, popular icon sets brought together under one umbrella. So if I should come right here and I should click on browse icons, for example, we can see we have different icon sets. We have material symbols, Google material icons, material design. We even have font awesome. We have different type of icons you might need. Okay, even animated icons right here. So let's say, for example, I need from material design, and we can see all of this right here. And let's say, for example, okay, I'm in need of this. I could just come right here and we can see the SVG code right here. So click on this to copy the SVG code. Okay, to actually put this into perspective, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to come here. Let's just remove this. Okay, so we can see this right here. And I can just paste the icons I copied and this works. And okay, if you need any other icon, let's say, for example, I need this, just come right there, copy the SVG, and you're good to go. And that's essentially the beauty of Iconify. So you can choose any of these options depending on your need, depending on the type of icons you're looking for. But here is my rule of thumb. Most of the time when I need any icons, I just go straight to hero icons because they are easier. They are the easiest to actually customize out of the box. And they work well with Tailwind CSS, which I make use of in a lot of my projects. But when you need something more complex or you need something more colorful, I would advise you going to a place like SVG Repo. It has beautiful, nice design for almost everything you might want to think of or need. And I'll also be showing you a bonus tip and a really good place to get some more colorful SVGs at the end of the video. Make sure to stay tuned.
Now, the third hack I'm going to show you is basically on how you can customize your SVG icons, how to adjust the colors, the sizes, etc. Now, to show this, I have two icons from Hero Icons, two from Font Awesome, and two from Iconify, and specifically the material design icons. And right here, the first thing I'm going to show you is, regardless of whether you're making use of regular CSS, vanilla CSS, or maybe Tailwind CSS, hero icons are pretty much made to be highly customizable. So whenever you just apply the particular class you need, they're automatically going to pick it up as I demoed earlier. But what about Font Awesome? Now, if you apply these classes, which I also applied on this particular icon, we see that they do not work. That's because of some pre-configured properties that we added to the SVG. Now, let's get rid of them and let's see how we can actually customize things. Now, the first thing you're going to need to do is remove this pre-configured height. So I'm just going to do that right now. Remove this all. And then I'm going to add a fill, since basically this SVG has a fill inside of it. So I'm going to add a fill. I'm going to say it's going to be equal to current color. And we can see that automatically made it pick this up. Now, by setting the fill or stroke to current color, we are basically telling the SVG to inherit the properties from the parents, okay, or the properties that is being passed in the class. So if, for example, I should remove this from here and I should add, okay, to the parent element, which is this div, I had text green 500 or 600, we can see it's basically going to pick it up. That's essentially what the current color is for. Now, one thing I would not like you to do, which I once tried, was try something like add a style and SVG fill this, the color right here. And that will basically work the same as when you're trying to apply the same styles to different SVG. So I'm going to just get rid of that. And we can see this works now. So if I should resize this Font Awesome icon, let's resize it to something like H20 also. And we can see right here, and I can also add the class, okay, animate spin, and we can see it's being spawned right here. Okay, so let's just do something else. We can see it right here. So we have been able to customize this. So I'm just going to remove this away, and I can just do the same thing right here. So I can just copy the fill equals to this, and let's bring it here. And let's add a class. So just copy this and paste is right here, and we can see right here it's looking better. So I can say something like text, and that essentially works fine. So you can do that with any of the other icons also. Now, material design icons from Iconify also are very much customizable. But to adjust the width and the height with custom CSS selectors or properties, you need to get rid of this predefined width and height. And afterwards, you can just pretty much replace this, and we should have something similar, which is going to be much more customizable with custom CSS properties. And we can do the same for this. and instead maybe change this something such as blue, and we can see that works nicely. Now moving on to the number 4 SVG icon hack. A lot of time you might be working with UI designers who would have a specific design and you would be required to actually bring them to life or write the code for them. And chances are most of the times they will come up with or design different custom icons which you might have to then find a way to actually insert into your code. Now, to demo this, I have a UI design I did for my blog, I think about a year or 2 years back. I don't really remember when. But the point is, I just want to show you how you can basically bring a particular design, maybe from Figma. And this basically works with some software such as Adobe XD or Adobe Illustrator. But I'm going to make use of Figma here. So you can just head over to any icon you actually want to make use of or you want to export or copy as SVG. And what I'm going to do is there are various options or basically 2 main options. You can come here, click on the export, and right here you can change and export as SVG. That essentially works fine. But this method, I don't really like to make use of it anymore because first I will have to save it on my PC and then find the location of that particular SVG on my PC and then open it up and copy the code, which is more of like a 3-step or 4-step process for me. Now, essentially what I can also come to do is right click on this and I can just copy and paste as, and right there you can see copy as code, copy as SVG, and all I'm just going to do is copy it as SVG. Okay, so you can just come right to your web browser and I'm just going to paste this right here. I can see this basically works. Now, another sub hack I would like to actually give to you, maybe when you're trying to, or you need a quick place to get icons inside of Figma. Here's what you can just do. I have a plugin right here, which is basically Iconify. Yes, it's basically the same icon library we saw earlier. This is just a Figma plugin made by them. And the guy also mentioned earlier that you can basically use it in any framework like React, Vue, etc. So yes, you might want to check it out. And then another amazing thing about this plugin is you can basically paste an SVG right here. So I'm just going to paste this right here. And the plugin will try to decode it. And we can see it right here. So let's say I come back to my browser and this SVG we have from Hero Icons, for example, I can decide to copy it and let's just bring it right here. I'm just going to delete this and paste this right here. And we can see right here, you can just import the SVG. And right here, we have the SVG here. Okay, so we have the SVG here. Okay, remember the bonus hack I mentioned earlier? Well, I decided to bring it out early. Now, when you come to Unreal.co, you can get basically a lot of illustrations which you can download in SVG or PNG for your project. And it's pretty much free. And you can come here to Unreal.co and browse. And you can see right here under the illustrations. You can also search, by the way, if you need to. So you can find different illustrations you need. Or let's say I need to search. Okay, I can search for something, let's say 404, for example. Okay, so I need an icon for 404. Maybe you want to customize the color a bit. You can click here and we can see it's basically going to apply the chosen color to all the SVGs we have currently. So we can basically do that pretty much allowed. I can decide to click on this and okay, it's basically going to ask you download SVG for your project or PNG, and I'm just going to download SVG. And if I should open this in my browser, we can see it right here. Wow, this is looking nice. I can view the page source right here and we can see the SVG code for all of that. So just head over to Unreal.co and check it out. It's pretty much awesome. And the fifth and final hack I'm going to be giving you is how to optimize your SVGs. Now you might think SVG are pretty much as optimized as it can get. I mean, same PNG file of around maybe 40 kilobytes to 100 kilobytes or more might not be more than 1.4 kilobytes in SVG format. But do you know you can even optimize your SVG even further? Now, by using this particular tool, I will show you. So basically, remember that particular SVG file we downloaded earlier, which is the 404. We have it right here, which is pretty a bit large, 23 kilobytes. So I can just drag it in right here and we can try to optimize it even further. Now, the link to this tool will be in the description below. So at first, let's see the original. We can see right here, okay, it says 9.88 kilobyte. I'm not sure that's totally correct. Okay, but let's now show it when it has been minified. Okay, we can see it right here. It says 7.47 kilobytes. Okay, so we can basically remove the unnecessary metadata and different things inside of the SVG and clean it up a bit. Okay, so if we should check the markup right here, let's show the original. We can see it has some additional information, but by the time we actually just show the compressed gist zipped, we can see right here it's looking a bit cleaner, and right now it's basically has been minified, and whatever other attribute you need to remove, so I need to remove this. Okay, that's probably a bad idea. So you can basically check and uncheck any other attributes or any other thing, characteristics you would like to remove from the SVG. And then by the time you're finally done, you can download it, and we can see right here that the size has reduced significantly from what we have before. Now, we've come to the end of this particular video. If you enjoyed, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe, and you can also share to your friends or anyone you think would be useful to. And also, if there's anything I left out or forgot, or you feel like you could add, kindly put that in the comments below. Thank you very much, and I'll see you in the next one.